Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, Wootini from GayGamer.net, here with another weekly video podcast. And I am feeling much better. I did get my hernia surgery, which, the first couple of days were really rough. Well, the first day that I got it done in the morning, and then they send you home, and anesthesia is still working, so you're pretty much fine up until, nighttime, and then sleeping was, a nightmare. And then Tuesday was also pretty bad, but by Wednesday afternoon I was feeling way better and not in as much pain, and it's great. So I have staples in my belly, but you can't see because I just have bandages right now. But they're staples and it's really gross. So I can't wait to get those out. But on the plus side, I thought I was going to be so miserable in pain that all I was going to want to do is lay on the couch and watch Netflix. And I did watch some Netflix. One of the things that I did was I finally decided to check out Bob's Burgers, because the first couple seasons are on Netflix now. And I know a bunch of people who love that show and rave about it and think it's hilarious. I've never seen a single episode. So I thought I would check out the first episode or two, and it was a really bad idea, because it turns out it's actually really funny, and laughing was not something that I should have been doing. So while I enjoyed the show, it was slightly uncomfortable to watch when it made me laugh too much. But it's a great show, as it turns out, so y'all are right. But I did actually have the presence of mind. I wasn't all doped up on painkillers and stuff that, I couldn't concentrate on playing a game. Although I did pretty much just play Fable 3. Or I did last week download Metro Last Light for free on PlayStation Plus, but I haven't started it yet. Because I don't want to start something and then get into that and then forget to play what I was already playing and in the middle of. I feel like I should finish Fable 3 before I start anything new. Because I also downloaded Dead Island, which was the free game with gold on Xbox Live. That one I'm not as concerned about, because while I do like my first-person shooters, which is why I also downloaded the Metro Last Light, I'm pretty sure that I'm only going to play Dead Island up until the point that the super-powered zombie monsters start showing up, because I'm assuming that that's what it turns into, because that's what these zombie games always turn into. And it's really irritating, because I'm like, what's wrong with zombies? They're a fine enemy. I love the idea of being on a resort island menaced by zombies. It's a self-contained little environment, and you run around and try to survive and kill off all the zombies. And because it's a self-contained environment, you can kill all the zombies and be done with it, and then escape. As a concept for a game, that makes total sense to me. But of course I know that there's going to be some kind of secret government group, and there's going to be giant monsters and things that aren't zombies, because that's what happens. It's like Resident Evil. It's whatever. So that's when I'll probably end up getting bored and annoyed and stop playing the game. But we'll see what happens. But I did mostly play Fable 3, because that was relatively low-key, so I could play that and not have to be on the edge of my seat with my reflexes dulled and everything and screwing up and dying all the time. And in fact, I played a really good chunk of Fable 3, and I don't remember Fable 1 and 2 being quite so linear, but I feel like it keeps driving me from one story point to the next, and not letting me feel free to just wander about and do what I like. And also, I never stopped to do jobs and stuff so that I would have lots of money, and I could... It took me a while before I finally realized, I was like, oh wait, I should be buying businesses and buying properties and renting them out so that I can earn all this money. So I finally started doing that, and then I decided I needed to romance somebody, so I bought a house so we can move into. I decided, I was just chatting people up in town just to boost my score and stuff, and then I happened to be chatting with Gary the Drunkard, and he was very into me, so I, danced with him and tickled him until he said, hey, will you do me a favor and run this quest for me? So I ran a letter over to some guy in another village, And then I came back and he was all like, yay, let's go out on a date. And I'm like, really? You didn't just want to go out on a date with me? I had to do you a favor first? But we went out on a date, and then of course after the one date, and I kissed him, and then he fell madly in love with me, and I happened to have a couple wedding rings on me from finding them in chests and whatever, so I said, hey, marry me? I bought the house that was like literally next to us, I just went over and bought it, and moved us in. Done. Hopefully me and Gary the drunkard will be very happy together. I basically just paused, like, the story so that I could, like, run around and, like, build some stuff, you know, and get married and whatever. And I did a couple side quests on the way, but, like, then I will go back to the story quest, because, you know, I feel like I mean, not near the end, but I feel like I'm getting close to the end, maybe, like, just past the halfway point. I'm not really sure, I can't tell. But, I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's a Fable game. I feel like it's more linear than the others, but my memory might just be playing tricks on me, and the other ones were just as linear, and I was just more inclined to explore and do other things. I mean, I love the humor of these games. I think they're very, very funny. So, it's fun. I'm enjoying it. The other thing that I did play this week was Telltale released Episode 2 of The Wolf Among Us. Unfortunately, there was apparently a little glitch with Microsoft and the Season Pass on the Xbox 360 where it wouldn't let you download it for free. Every time you tried to download Episode 2, it tried to charge you $5. And I went on the message board and people were saying how they, like, called Microsoft, and when they got somebody on the phone they were saying, okay, download it and I'll refund you the $5. You know, so they would basically refund. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. That's too much work. I'll wait for them to work it out. And then, like, the next day, in the evening, I got a message with a download code, because they still weren't able to figure out how to not charge people who had the Season Pass. I don't know why. I don't know why this is a problem. I don't know how they couldn't fix that. If you have a Season Pass, you're supposed to be you've already paid for these episodes, and you should get them for whatever. But they did not. So, basically, they were like, sorry, we can't figure out how to let you download what you've already owned, so here's a code to download it for free separately. So whatever. I got the episode and I played it, and it's fun. And it's good. I'll put a review up on the site, obviously, but the gist of it is, it's another episode of an amazing Telltale adventure game, so obviously it's going to be really good. What I appreciate is that, starting with this episode, it's starting to differentiate itself from The Walking Dead. It's a little more detective-y, even though it's not particularly, you know, difficult, really. But, at least it's starting to feel a little different than The Walking Dead, which is good, because for whatever reason, Telltale has decided to release these two at the same time now. Like, they released The Wolf Among Us, and it was like a really long stretch between episodes 1 and 2, and then they were like, oh, but here's episode 1 of The Walking Dead Season 2, in the meantime. And I'm like, what? And I thought they weren't going to release The Walking Dead Season 2 until after they'd finished The Wolf Among Us. But now it seems like they're going to, like, alternate episodes, so you'll go from one to the other to the other to the other. So they're really going to have to differentiate The Wolf Among Us as far as, like, the gameplay and the feel of it, because otherwise it's going to be kind of the same thing, and you're going to realize that it's kind of the same adventure game. But like I said, it is starting to feel different with the second episode, so that was good. Oh! One other thing that I did this week that I want to tell you about is I went to see the Lego Movie, and it is awesome. Everything is awesome. And it's great. It's really, really good. You know I love the Lego games. I think they're hilarious, and they're a lot of fun. So when they said they were making a Lego Movie, I was like, what? But the trailers all seemed really funny, and I was just like, this could be really good. And sure enough, it is. It is so clever, it's very funny. When I found out it was from the guy who did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I had my fingers crossed. I was like, okay, maybe it really will be good. And it is. It's very funny, it's very clever. I feel like it's CGI, but some of it looks like stop motion, and I don't know. I can't wait for the Blu-ray release so I can watch a making of and find out exactly what because I read online that some of it is stop motion and some of it is CGI. I mean, obviously the big expansive, worlds are all CGI, but I'm thinking that maybe some of the character animations were actually stop motion. Unless none of it is stop motion and it's all CGI and they just said that, because they actually did model the characters to look like, worn down and scratched up, and they had the textures of the plastic and the seams and whatever. And when they move like, jittery stop motion. I mean, they're limited because they're Lego pieces, so they don't animate fluidly, obviously. But they use that to great effect. But they move all jerkily like stop motion. So if they used CGI to basically replicate a herky-jerky stop motion, then bravo, because it was amazing. And it's really funny, and it has a great message. I mean, at the end, the message is like, it's sort of subtle, and then at the end they're like, in case you didn't get our message, here it is in big neon letters. But it was still super great, and yeah, I shed a tear. I'm not proud. These kid movies get to me sometimes if they're really well done. So definitely go see the Lego Movie because it's awesome. Everything is awesome. Is a great song. And so is the Batman song. The Batman song is hilarious. He has a career as a recording artist if he ever wants to give up crime fighting. Just saying. So that's it for this week, and I will see you back here next time, same bat channel. Have a good one. Bye.